Hello everyone.
Hello everyone.
So today we're going to talk about
Exogenic
exogenic processes. Yay!
Yay!
Exogenic process is a process that originates externally to the Earth's surface, such as weathering, mass wasting, erosion, and sedimentation.
Weathering is the breaking down of rocks, soil and minerals, as well as wood and artificial materials through contact with the Earth's atmosphere. Waters and biological organisms. Weathering occurs on that it's in the same place, with little or no movement, and thus should not be confused with erosion, which involves the movement of rocks and minerals by agents such as water, ice, snow, wind, waves, and gravity, and then being transported and deposited in other locations. How does weathering happen? Weathering happens through process or sources in the environment, including events like wind and objects like the roots of plants. In weathering, there are two types, which is chemical weathering and mechanical weathering. In chemical weathering, there are three types. First, oxidation. Second, hydrolysis. Third, carbonation. In oxidation, it is a reaction with oxygen to form an oxide. In hydrolysis, ions replace positive ions minerals. Mechanical weathering is the physical disintegration and reduction in size of the rocks without changing their chemical composition. How is mechanical weathering different from chemical weathering? Mechanical weathering physically breaks rocks into smaller pieces, while chemical changes the surface of rocks into new substances such as rust. Why weathering is important to life on Earth? It is a part of rock cycle and the processes releases nutrients and minerals to the soil and water for plants and animals to use.
What is mass wasting? Mass wasting is the downstream movement of rocks and soil by the force of gravity, which is also the common way of shaping the Earth's surface over time. We have many examples of mass wasting such as landslide, debris flow, and rock falls, which is commonly triggered by heavy or prolonged rainfall. Landslides are large masses of rocks and soil that slides along the ground surface, while debris flow are triggered by heavy rains that produces flooding. Lastly is the rock falls. These are rocks that fall freely through the air, intermittently bouncing on the ground. There are also causes why mass wasting occurs. First is that the water increases the weight of the soil, lowers the cohesive strength of the clay, and acts as a lubricant. Second is the lack of vegetation on steeper slopes, thickness of the soil, and expansive clay. Lastly is the earthquake.
Rocks that are weathered into smaller fragments and sediments that are easily moved from one place to another is called the process of erosion. Erosion occurs naturally, but human activity has increased the incidence of erosion by 10 to 40 times globally as of 2014. Erosion affects our agriculture and the flow of bodies of water. It also affects various ecosystems and can lead to the extinction of species that lose habitat or food sources. Climate also plays a role in erosion. Areas with a great deal of rain can experience significant runoff and resulting erosion. Very dry areas may have erosion from dry soils blowing away. Various factors intensify and speed up erosion, such as intensive farming, climate change, cutting down trees, and construction of roads and buildings all affect erosion. And here are the different types of erosion. First is the water erosion. Water erosion occurs from the chemicals in the water and the force of the flow of water in the river. There are many chemicals in the water of a river, and those chemicals can break down certain rocks such as limestones and chalks. This eroded rock is carried down by the river. Second is the wind erosion. Wind erosion is simple. Light objects such as rocks and pebbles can be carried away by the wind and can hit landforms, eroding materials of them that are carried off by the wind. Thirdly is the glacier erosion. Glaciers are giant bodies of ice that can pick up huge pieces of rocks, some even as big as houses. A combination of water, ice, and pick up sediment create a powerful eroding machine. Fourth is the sea erosion. The salts and other chemicals can erode weak rocks on the coast, such as limestone and chalk. The eroded materials are carried up to the shore by the means of a longshore drift. And lastly is the soil erosion. Soil erosion pays the biggest price to farmers. Flooding, wind, and etc. can carry the topsoil away from farmlands and make the soil unfertile.
Sedimentation. Sedimentation is a tendency for particles in suspension to settle out of the fluid, in which they are entertained and come to rest against the barrier. In geology, sedimentation is often used as the opposite of erosion. In that sense, it includes the termination of transport by saltation or through bed load. Settling is the falling of suspended particles to the liquid, whereas sedimentation is the settling process.
areas may have erosion from dry soils blowing away. Various factors intensify and speed up erosion, such as intensive farming, climate change. Thirdly is the glacier erosion. Glaciers are giant bodies of ice that can pick up huge pieces of rocks, some even as big as
Sedimentation is a tendency for particles to move in the fluid. To move out.
Chemical is a changes the surface of rocks into new substances such as rust.